Welcome to the first TerranScapes rapid fire critique. What I'm going to be doing is keeping these to 5 minutes. I'm going to even set a little alarm here for myself, make sure I'm honest with that. And we're going to run through the photos that are sent to me, and I may not know your name because I'm not going to go back and open up stuff in the, oh, look, I can just see. Oh, it's Martin. All right, well, we'll see how that works. So Martin sent me a few photos of a piece that he's done. Whoa. Oh, wow. Got a little extra time there. And he highlighted a couple things about them. The first was that with this miniature base that he has fashioned into a swamp theme, judging from what I can see here. Although, well, wait a minute. Basics. Then he used cork for the base here, the plinths to hold the miniatures, pin there, and he painted them to match the slate that it's sitting on. So, first things that I like, the slate painting is spot on. I think that's very solid. Nice comparison to this. It's got a little bit more of a blue edge in my mind compared to this, but I think it actually kind of works with the blue in the water and, you know, sort of this green, split area here. So I think that actually, I think that ties in the blue here very well, and I would keep that. Things I should also say that I like adding the piece of driftwood and the little bit of lichen. It's a base, so you don't have a lot of space to fit stuff on. So adding a small accent like that seems to me like the right way to go. And then, of course, you've got this nice blended mossy flock. And looking at this, I would say this is a Scenic Express blend, maybe their boggy blend. And it has these grass fibers and these little red bits on a mostly dark base of foam. So, looking at this, what would I improve? First, I would want to question why there's this color shift between these two. You have this very interesting, sort of murky, vile green going on here, but then over here you have this very crisp blue edge, and maybe this is meant to split some areas or to designate a front and a back for the miniature, but I definitely think it's too strong of a change in too quick of a transition. So I would probably push this edge green because you've got this nice, sort of swampy accent here. And then I would tint this a little lighter in opacity. And the trick is, of course, you have a very shallow base, so you're not going to be able to get a real good depth of color. But that's what I would do. Ooh, I gotta be quick. And that's my cat. And the other thing I would do is I would try and find a piece of driftwood or maybe stainless that's gray. When wood has been out exposed to the elements for a long time, it actually turns quite gray. And this looks pretty fresh. And in fact, I think you've done such a nice job with the slate. This looks sort of natural and a little bit older. And then this looks like very fresh. And maybe a thinner piece to bring it in scale. Although it could be in scale. I mean, there's trees of all sizes, but I would want to see this maybe just a little grayer, a little more weathered. And then you could even take maybe a couple very, very tiny twigs and lay them right like here or something like that to give a feel that this isn't just all by itself in the water. We have a couple photos here, so I'm going to try and get another one in here. Now, this picture, I'm not sure what's going on, and I think mainly it's because of the color that is being shot. Of course, this looks very, very green and teal, but we see that green and that teal being carried through in other areas, so it looks like the whole photo has been color shifted. Quick thoughts on what I like about it, though, is that you've built this out of individual pieces of gravel, which is always a challenge, and you've done a nice job of filling in the gaps so they don't look like they're hanging. They look like they're naturally seated against each other rather than having gaps, which will look very unnatural. So that's great. It's a little hard for me to tell what's going on with this flock because of the color and a little bit of the sizing of it, the resolution. It's a little pixelated. So you know, it's a good tip for everybody who's watching this to think about, you know, making sure it's, I don't know what the original size of this is, and maybe I can look into this if it's on my end, but I don't think so because that last one looks fine. Check your resolution, make sure it's a nice full res picture when you include it, and take a look at the photo and ask yourself before you send it, is this the exact color of what you are making? Because I don't know, everything in here looks green. Background, the you know, light here and everything, it's all got this green blue shift. So I have a feeling this looks a lot more natural in person. But nice job on the fill. And I think if this is looking mossy in real life, that's a pretty good call. So that wraps up the first installment of the TerranScapes Rapid Fire Critique. I hope you found something helpful with that. And, of course, if you're new to the channel, this is the first installment of a new series, so welcome, and hopefully you find some other things on the channel that are useful to you as well. So thanks, and I'll see you in the next critique.